good evening. How are you all? It is so lovely to be here live with you tonight, this afternoon, 5 o'clock on Sunday. Did anyone else watch the Socceroos play this afternoon? It was a really good match. Not that I'm a huge World Cup follower, but it was a good one to watch. Um, if you are tuning in, thank you so much. It's so lovely to have you here. Please do a little thumbs up below the video. Pop a comment in below here as well so I know that you're here and I can give you a shout out. I can't always see who's here or who's watching, just the way it's set up. So it's lovely to get your comments and your thumbs up so that I can say thank you for being here. Today's live is all about the first trip in the lineup for 2027, and it's super exciting to have some 2027 trips up and ready. Anne's here. Hi, Anne. So lovely to see you. Thanks for being here. And this trip is two countries in one, Vietnam and Cambodia. Two of my very most favorite places to visit, seriously. And yeah, it's a really, really fabulous itinerary. I have done all of the things on the itinerary, which is great. And it's, yeah, a beautiful trip. So I will dive in to some info about the trip as I go along. Please pop your questions in the comments. If you're watching the replay, feel free to pop questions in here too, because I will also get little notifications that you have asked a question on the replay too. So the trip is in March next year, the 2nd to the 12th of March in 2027. And like I said, it's Vietnam and Cambodia. So beginning in Saigon, in Ho Chi Minh City, the southernmost city of Vietnam. Really easy destination to get to from a lot of Australian cities. There are a lot of direct flight options, which is great, and quite a few airline options too. I can help you with airline and flight research. I can't book flights, but I can give you some pointers, some options from your airport, and I help you work out the best combo that's going to work for you. So a lot of people, when they join my tours, like to arrive the night before, just so they've got some time to refresh, recover from the flight, and build in some buffer time just in case the worst happens and there is a flight delay. Touch wood, that doesn't happen. But yes, so that's something to keep in mind if you do have the flexibility and the ability to arrive a day earlier. That's sometimes a really nice thing to be able to do. And Saigon is a great place to spend an extra night, I tell you. So on this trip, it is 10 nights across the two countries. So you'll have 2 nights in Saigon, and then you'll move through the Mekong Delta and have 3 nights exploring the Mekong Delta in two different places. Then you'll cross the border into Cambodia and have 2 nights in Phnom Penh, the capital of Cambodia, and then finishing in Siem Reap, which is the gateway to Angkor Wat, and a beautiful place to spend time. And you'll have the final 3 nights in Siem Reap. That is also a great place to spend an extra night too. So keep that in mind. If you do have time up your sleeve, you may want to add an extra night in Siem Reap. So has anyone been to Vietnam or to Cambodia before? I'd love to know. Pop in the comments if you have been before, and if so, whereabouts you went to, and what you thought of it. Yeah, I'd love to know. I have been to both countries multiple times. Vietnam, well, in excess of probably 25 times, as well as living in Vietnam twice before as well. So I am really familiar with traveling in Vietnam, and I just love Cambodia as well. Ruby says, hi there, an amazing adventure. Oh, Possum Ruby, sorry. I cut the top off your name. Danielle, the adventures of Possum Ruby. I have been there. An amazing adventure. Yes, great. Oh, Linda's here. Hi, So yes, many times. Oh, and Belinda, no, I haven't been. But if that is the Belinda, that you might be the Belinda who is booked on, which is very exciting. Linda's been a few times: Saigon, Hanoi, Sapa, Halong Bay, Hue, Dalat. Oh yeah, that's lots of places. Um, I hopefully you can still hear me because it says that I've gone offline, but it still looks like it's working. Let's just check. Okay. Did you lose me? I'm still here. Hopefully you didn't lose me. All good. And Jan's here too. Hi Jan. I have been too. Oh yes, and Jan was on the first Pip and Co travel trips back in November 24 with Sue as well. And we did Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos. Belinda, yes, that's me booked in. Oh, great. I thought it must be you. Oh, I'm so glad you could join. It's lovely to have you here. So one of the reasons why I'm really excited about this trip too is because of the opportunity to not take any internal flights and to travel overland via, boat, the high-speed ferry connecting Vietnam across to Phnom Penh, minivan, little traditional sampans, tuk-tuks, which are great fun in Cambodia as well. So it's a really nice experience to have a different, mix of transport, and especially not having to waste time at the airport taking internal flights, which I think is always great. And no backtracking, which I am also not that fond of. I like to just keep on going. Um, so March is a really great time to be in southern Vietnam and in Cambodia. It is the end of the kind of high season. So just before April and May, it really heats up and gets super hot. So March is a great time to be in both countries, purposely chosen. It'll be dry, there won't be any rain. I mean, of course, it will be hot. Both countries, especially southern Vietnam, are hot and humid, but you won't have that peak heat that you can experience in April and May. So that is a really good news. So 10 nights in premium four-star hotels, plus one night in Cantor, which is a city in the Mekong Delta, staying at a family-run lodge, and they're individual bungalows, but I would classify that more as a three-star experience. Of course, still, all your things you can imagine, your private bathroom, air conditioning, everything's set up, but it's just a little bit more rustic than a traditional hotel. But you are in a beautiful setting, not far from the Mekong, next to a Cao Dai temple, family owned. The food there is amazing. There's a swimming pool, and it's really lovely. So that is another highlight. A lot of meals are included on this trip. So breakfasts every day, plus five lunches and six dinners. So really, you don't need to budget an awful lot extra for the meals that aren't included. Food in Vietnam and in Cambodia is really well priced, as are drinks and snacks and desserts, ice creams, coffees, all of those things. So closer to the time, I'll be able to give you really kind of a better idea of how much to budget. But yeah, luckily it's not going to be too much at all. So heaps of amazing activities, all included in the itinerary. Airport transfers, of course, both on arrival and departure, which I think is really important. Just makes such a hassle-free arrival and departure. The trip is fully hosted, and it's going to be hosted by Danielle, who is my new host, my new Pip and Co travel host. And Danielle is online with us at the moment, and her tag under the comments is The Adventures of Poss and Ruby. Some of you will know Danielle. You will have traveled with her in Laos or in Sri Lanka. Some of you might have come across her through her travel club events that she does in Melbourne. She is great value, and you can check out her Instagram and Facebook and find out more about Danielle there. But she's going to be a fabulous host. She will be with you from the beginning of the trip to the end of the trip, making sure everything goes smoothly, that you have what you need, that you're looked after, that all of those kind of free time options. You've got some, I guess, options on things to do, and you're looked after for all those meals that aren't included as well, in terms of ideas of where to go. In addition to your amazing host, you will also have an amazing local guide with you for the entire time in Vietnam and the entire time in Cambodia. So we've purposely got two different guides. So for each country, I think local knowledge, the language is so important, and their connection to their country and to their hometowns, home cities. So our Vietnamese guy will be with us from the very beginning in Saigon to the border in Vietnam. And then you will meet your Cambodian guide in Phnom Penh after you disembark from the high-speed ferry, which will be fantastic. So, as I quickly mentioned, you will have 10 nights in total, 2 nights in Saigon, 1 night in Canton in the Mekong, 2 nights in Chao Doc, which is a beautiful Mekong Delta town or small city right on the border with Cambodia, 2 nights in Phnom Penh, and 3 nights in Siem Reap. So it's a nicely slow paced trip. There's not a lot of rushing. Having 2 nights in almost every place except one really makes a big difference. And I get that feedback a lot from visitors. They love having that time to breathe and to soak it in and to not rush. And yeah, I think that's a real highlight of the trip as well. Um, I'm just catching up on all these comments. Tracy says, yes, hi Penny once, but only as far up as Hoi An. Yes, lovely, lovely part of the world. And but no, the first trip with you is in Sri Lanka and in November, and would like to book Vietnam in April 27. That is very exciting, and it's great to have you on the live, and yes, to have you booked in for Sri Lanka too. Sue said if that's where we stayed, it's fantastic. I think, Sue, you might be talking about either the lodge in Kanto or the resort in Chao Doc. Same place for both. So, yes, if that's where you're referring to, yes, it's going to be the same place, and it is fantastic. Food is so good, Danielle says, and yay, so excited. Um, and yes, such a good chance to dive deep into the cities and towns. Totally, totally agree. And also not be so exhausted that you can't enjoy yourself. um, so prices, it is $39.50 per person twin share, and if you would like to have your own room, it is $49.80 solo as well. If you would like to try and find a buddy for a twin share, that is an option. I can't guarantee I can find a buddy, but we can always put it out there and see what happens. So just get in touch with me if you would like to talk about options for trying to get a twin share buddy. Some of the highlights, it's there's a lot of highlights packed into this trip. I love Saigon, and having it as the starting city, I think it's an amazing vibe. Having the chance to discover some of the hidden alleys, the rooftop bars, the little cafes, little boutiques and bookshops, and um, but also having a walking tour where you do get a sense of all the history that has unfolded in that city. There's a lot, a lot there. So that's a definite highlight, as is going out for a street food tour on the back of a Vespa in Saigon. Very, very fun. So definitely put that down to a highlight. Traveling through the Mekong, it's not an area that a lot of visitors spend a lot of time in. A lot of people do a day trip from Saigon, which is incredibly rushed, very stressful, early morning, late night. I really like the idea of spending a few days in the Mekong Delta, because you do get to see so much and really experience what rural regional life is like in that part of Vietnam. Um, Getting up early for the floating markets is a definite highlight. A couple of people on the chat tonight will remember doing that when we stayed in Canter, and it is super fun. Having all that freshly cut pineapple and coconut juices and iced coffees delivered to our boat, and yeah, it's a super great vibe. My other favorite thing in the Mekong is going on the traditional sampan boats through all the canals, the really small kind of offshoots of the Mekong River. Super peaceful, quiet, and a very different experience to being on the wide Mekong River. So that's another thing to look forward to, as well as the gorgeous, family run rustic lodge as well. That's super fun. So going across through the Mekong to the border town of Chowdok, there you'll get to have some more really fun boating experiences and see some floating fish farms, but also on land seeing some Cham ethnic minority villages. And I really enjoyed doing that as well. It's a really different experience. And being up on the hill, having gorgeous views from the pool across the rice paddies over almost as far as Cambodia, you can see from the top of the resort as well. So that's super nice. Taking the high speed ferry is an adventure. There is a couple of immigration stops on the way, which is nice. You get to stretch your legs, have a bit of time on land while your passport is being checked. And then into Phnom Penh, which is super buzzy. It's a big city, it's got that French influence, all the tragedy that has happened, within our generation during, from Vietnam War, Khmer Rouge. There's a lot to unpack in Phnom Penh. Um, so there is the tragic history side of things. There's also a really nice opportunity to explore the city in a cyclo on the back of a pedal cyclo, and see some of the city from there as well, including the market and temples and some of the French architecture. And of course, cocktails, rooftop bar, so much fun. Then it's a bit of a drive up to Siem Reap. So it's about a 5 hour drive. And I just love Siem Reap. There's a few people who are here who will remember their time in Siem Reap, I'm sure. Um, there is so much to do, and some of the things we've include meeting the hero rats that are the bomb detector, the TNT detector rats. That's incredible. It's a real highlight. Going out onto the largest freshwater lake in Southeast Asia called Tonle Sap and seeing all the floating villages. That's a really amazing experience too. And of course, you can't come all the way to Cambodia and not see Angkor Wat. It is incredible. The scale, the size, nothing really prepares you for it. And being there at sunrise is really beautiful. And also exploring there before it gets hot is really nice too. And the other temples that you'll visit on the itinerary are really amazing. And to top it all off, an acrobatic show produced by a Cambodian NGO called FAR or FAIR, PHARE. And they're amazing performers, and that's a really cool, really awesome acrobatic show as well. So there's lots to look forward to. um, if you have any questions or any thoughts, please pop that in the comments. I would love to answer any questions as I go along. But if you have traveled with Pip and Co before, you'll know that our groups are always small, 12 an absolute maximum. Generally, groups are around 7 to 8 people, 7 to 8 women. It's a lovely size. Everyone's just amazing. My focus is always on partnering with locals and supporting community tourism and really ensuring that all our tourism dollars go to locals, families, people on the ground who really are so grateful, especially in a place like Cambodia. You can really see and feel the impact that your visit has on some of these families and people working in tourism or running their own small business. Really great balance of downtime, adventure. You'll be supported the whole way through. Perfect for women traveling solo. Also great for people who are maybe exploring Asia for the first time as well. So that is a very quick run through of this amazing trip. if you haven't had a chance to have a look at the itinerary online, I'll just pop a link in here now so you can see. Um, you can get all the details online as well as click through to the booking page. If you're keen to come, it's a $500 deposit to hold your spot, and then the remaining balance is due 90 days out from the trip departure. I can also arrange a payment plan as well that suits you, and you can just let me know what's going to work for you, and I can sort that out. Um, and yeah, I just wanted to talk about fitness as well because I know this often comes up. You know, how fit do I need to be? How much walking is there? All these kind of things. So I've said that it's an easy to moderate level of fitness is required for this trip. And you can expect to walk between 8 and 10,000 steps each day, often on uneven ground, climbing some stairs, whether it's stairs at the hotel, and there are stairs at the temple complexes as well. Standing for 1 to 2 hours during the walking tours or the tours of Angkor, and getting in and out of vehicles and boats is something. Obviously, there's people there to help you too. Um, Nothing is ever compulsory. So if you do want to opt out of something, that is generally, quite possible as well. So don't feel like that you have to do everything. You can make your own choice about what's good for you. And yeah, so that is a little bit about the fitness and, kind of the pace. Let's have a look. So the Vespa tour is amazing. Yeah, Danielle, you got to do that, didn't you? Was that last year? I can't remember. Anne says, I don't know if I can wait till November, Penny. It sounds so wonderful. Oh, yay. Danielle has said, Angkor Wat is one of my most favorite places in the world, and spectacular early morning is worth it. Yes, I agree. And even just, photographs on your phone, it looks stunning. Sue has said I might pop some pics. Yes, on the Facebook page. It was such a great trip. That would be amazing. Thank you. And yes, I've just popped the link up to the itinerary then. Um, Before I wrap up, does anyone have any questions or any comments or anything they'd like me to cover? I just realized I haven't talked about food at all, which is not like me because normally normally that's something that I, kind of lead with. Um, Vietnamese food is so well known and so well loved. All of your most favorite dishes, things like pho, bánh xèo, the Vietnamese pancakes, banh mi, the breads, all the spring rolls, the rice paper rolls, and then particular Mekong favorites like canh chua, which is a really lovely sweet and sour soup. Um, there are so many amazing things to look forward to from a food perspective, as well as, amazing coffee and tea and smoothies and fruit juices and fresh fruit. Just divine, especially in the Mekong region of Vietnam. So that is definite positive. Cambodian food is not as well known, but it is delicious and not spicy, coconut based. A lot of dishes, you'll see some similarities between the two countries' cuisines, but a lot of coconut based soups and kind of stew, curries, noodles, some really amazing things. But of course, if you have a dietary requirement, that is perfectly fine. Heaps of people have traveled on lots of different trips to lots of different countries that are vegetarian, pescatarian, vegan, celiac, gluten-free, lactose-free, FODMAP. There's been a whole range of different dietary requirements, and we've all been able to, just go with it and be looked after. And I think that's one of the really nice things about traveling with a local guide as well, because they're so clued into what our dietary needs are and allergies as well. And they are very particular about finding out, is there contamination? What's in this? Has it been cooked? And relaying that to us. And I think that is that's a super bonus about traveling with a local guide. Fish are mock. Yes, so that was the word I was trying to find. Fish amok, chicken amok. Yes, a beautiful coconut-based kind of soupy stew. Really yummy Khmer cuisine. And again, fruit, coffee, all these things, cocktails. Oh, and beer too, if you like icy cold beer, cheap cold beer. That's amazing. Last call for any questions. Danny Hell says wear pants, and I think, oh yes, you're talking about the Vespa trip, aren't you? Yes, because yes, don't wear a skirt because that's a bit awkward getting your legs over the Vespa. And I am very much looking forward to talking with anyone who is interested in the trip. You can make a time with me to have a chat at any time. I've got times up that you can book, or just send me a message and we can find a time. I would love to talk to you and love to help you find the trip that's going to work for you. If you're interested in traveling this year, don't forget there are a couple of trips with vacancies. There's Indonesia in August, which is going to be fabulous. A couple of the women on this chat are coming actually, which is great, including me as well. And then Sri Lanka in November as well. There's a few spots still available on that trip, which is so good because it's an amazing trip. And that is in November, and Danielle is hosting that one. And Anne on the chat's going to that one too, which is great. Otherwise, it's 2027, and this is the first trip of 2027, followed by Northern Vietnam in April. And I'm going to be hosting an info session about that one in 2 weeks on the 28th of June. So that's another one to look forward to, plus lots of other destinations for next year. It's going to be a busy year with lots of fun things, lots of new things too. Vanuatu, back to Borneo, back to Sri Lanka, but with a twist. There's going to be a hiking tea country trip in June. Another family trip, but this time to a different place, which I haven't revealed yet. Back to Indonesia, Laos, Cambodia, and more Sri Lanka as well later in the year. Plus the 2 new destinations for next year, Korea and Japan. So please stay tuned. There's lots to look forward to, and I am very much looking forward to seeing you all soon. Stay safe, stay in touch, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.